You know why? Because you need a cookie.
No, I really don't.
You really do.
No.
Had we not been running late, I would have been with crumble.
Oh God, no! The cookies this week suck. It's like Easter theme. That's all.
Oh
yeah. No, I had like 2 granola bars today, so I'm like,
whoa! Hold on to your hats, everybody.
Well, I had
2 granola.
I had my like 11 o'clock. You know, I used to do like a 10, 11 o'clock snack at work, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna have anything for a while. I'm getting on this bus. So, like, I was at the bus stop, like, let me get this granola bar before I get on the bus.
So I like how you have 10 or 11 o'clock snack. Like, do you have nap time scheduled in there?
I need a snack because I don't eat lunch till 1, and yeah.
You have a routine, and I love you. I love you for it.
Okay.
I think more people need to know about your particularities. All right. Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched the season finale, reunion finale of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes, we did. I almost got the giggles like Kathy.
Well, I wasn't talking about my sexuality.
Yes.
Why does that make you laugh?
It's a big pill to swallow. I'm Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy was so, like, subdued for Kathy.
She was, and a bit of a distraction, though. I feel like she kept trying to say things that just was not.
Well, they all do. They all, like, you know, would, like, throw in words. Like, when Erika had her segment, they're like, at peace, da-da-da. And it's like, I don't need you to finish the sentence for me. Thank you. Yeah. I'm getting there. Let me get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
How do we get there? Again,
we started off with, here she comes.
Oh, right.
Here she comes. I liked that at one point, Sutton's like, we're not going to get anywhere with this. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to move on. Like, Sutton, I get Dorit's point, but it's like, after a while, just shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's admitting she was wrong. She's apologizing. Like, not that you have to accept it, but you don't need to, like, keep piling on. You've made the point, and now you're hitting the point.
Are you saying that you need to let the mouse go?
Lord, like,
I think you were saying the mouse go.
And you should have said it. Let the mouse go, Dorit. We need to get to the next segment.
Yeah, really.
Like, we're already at hour 13. So, yeah, it's just like, we all know Sutton's wrong. The wallet comment was disgusting. You've now said she lives on a main road. You know, the threats, the like, I'll go harder on you. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Did you see the TikTok of Sutton's house that I sent you?
No. I didn't watch that. No.
Someone had posted a TikTok of like Sutton's house on the main road, and it really kind of is on the main road. Like, it's talking about like how it's just, you know, it's so
like, does a bus go by?
There's a double yellow line down her street.
Oh, okay.
But it talks about how like the house was built like 1927, and then with some famous. It's called the Tennis Estate or something like that.
I don't know where she bought that house.
Yeah, but it shows that the estate really does butt up. Like, there's privacy fences that go there's a little brick wall, and then there's like a giant black privacy fence that goes up over the brick wall,
right,
to show that really it is built on the main drag.
Well, also, like, wasn't the first party that was at her house, right?
Yeah,
Surrealist party.
Yes.
And it did seem like, now that I think about it, I thought it was at like a club or like a public venue
because it was so much
on a
traffic.
main road. Yes, yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
So I saw a lot of comments today saying I'd rather live on a main road in Bel Air than anywhere in Encino.
Hey, now those houses are cute. They all look the same, but they're cute.
Just because Teddy has one doesn't mean you need to defend it.
Yeah, even Teddy would be like, I'd rather live on that main road. They weren't going to get anywhere. They weren't going to get anywhere. It was, I mean, maybe next season they will. But yeah, Dorit was just like really like throwing it down. And I'm like, throw it down a little softer, please. Like, you don't need to project to the back row.
Yeah, all the threats and promises and threats. And
even Bose is like, girl.
Calm it down.
Calm it down.
So I feel like as far as Sutton's concerned, I think Erika was getting more headway with her packet about it.
Very much
still
so.
Not nearly enough, Sutton didn't really, truly, I feel, take accountability. She said, I go low, but it's just like, And like, you're not going to admit that you're getting people when they're at their lowest.
I get what Erika was saying in the fact of, what is she sliding on? Oh, your back.
Oh, okay. As long as she's
messenger bag. The cat people.
Yeah.
I get what Erika was saying in terms of, we're cool, but then I see you acting like an ass to other people, and I'm like, whoa, let me avoid this chick. You know? So it's like, we can be cool, but then I see how you treat other people, and then it triggers how you treated me. Then I'm wary of you. But like, I like the good side that I see of you in the I don't know, fun that we've had together. But, you know, it gives me pause when you are coming so hard at others. Yeah. My friends.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that Erika cares, but I do believe Erika when she says that, and I see that to be the case as well. And it would make sense to me as well that, like, yeah, I could get over the things I don't like about you, but then every time you present the things I don't like about you to someone else, I'm like, oh, right, that still exists. Like this, penchant for getting nasty, that sort of thing. So does make sense.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think Erika's losing any sleep about, oh no, Sutton and I aren't besties.
Right. She's not tossing and turning.
And I think that's where a little bit of, what I think Sutton was trying to get back from Erika was disingenuous. That, like, well, we're not really friends. And like, so where Erika was like, well, yeah, we're friends.
Well, she's like, well, why would you want to be friends with me? And it's like, because I like parts of you, but then you show your asshole side, and like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So it's understandable. If I had a friend like that, I'd be like, we're cool and all, but then like I see you treating my other friend like crap, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be cool with this person.
Yeah.
So it's human. So yeah, I do agree though that when Dorit said if Sutton had let the comment roll off her back and not made it a thing, it wouldn't have become this huge thing about her drinking. I also love that Dorit like had that in the back of her head, that 2020 moment. Like, girl, that's 5 years ago. And you're like, that interview you said where you like have a drink before 10 and it makes you nicer? Like, no one remembers that.
Yeah, I barely remember that. And Sutton was completely right. That was like the start of COVID where everyone was making that joke about like, it's, you wake up and have a cocktail.
Right.
But I think where she would have had better traction had she just stuck to the ocean spray and made it an issue out of, what kind of, you're bringing like road sodas with you places.
You bring Brodies all the time.
Avi fixes you sodas for the, booze for the road.
Straight up.
And then you have this ocean spray. Who's to say it's just ocean spray in there and it's not already pre-mixed? Like, Dorit could have made a case there.
Yes.
She decided to go too far back with her receipts.
Yeah.
In air quotes. So
it's like, do you remember? Like, and she was like so proud of herself too. Like, do you remember something? Like when you said, it's like, no one remembers that.
Yeah, it was not.
It's dumb.
Not good.
No.
I feel like Andy tried to get like participation from them like as a group, and many times throughout the episode, like the whole like round robin of the dating, like the body count.
I wouldn't have said body count, Andy. Like roster would be better.
Right.
And also too, like Garcelle's like, I didn't sleep with Sean Penn, for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and like who's in heat? Like who says that?
Yeah, that was just a little.
Like, would you say that to like the dudes at Vanderpump Rules? Are you guys in heat? Like, it's weird to say that to like.
Yeah, it does seem
women. I don't know.
It seems strange.
That was odd. Odd choice of words.
He could have just said, "Are you horny?"
Yeah,
that would be.
You're man hungry.
Yeah. Well, that
I forgot.
Man hungry just seems that's just.
Well, I forgot about when he said manly hands. I'm like, oh, the massage.
Oh yeah,
therapists. I was like, what are you talking about?
That was actually. I was happy to see Garcelle actually like smile when that clip came on. Like
no one smiled at her.
She must really like the manly hands guys. She must like have like an affinity for them in her heart, like not in any gross way. It was like, those guys are cool guys, because she just like lit up when that packet came.
She's just supporting black business.
Okay. But what happened early on with Garcelle that got her like originally, I'm done, like even before all of it?
Like, I'm not answering. Yeah, I don't know. I think things are percolating, and he saw it, and like he really was pushing it, and the fact that she's like, I'm not answering questions. Everyone like literally did like a whoo.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you're not?
Because then he finished up that segment that they were on and went back
to it. Like, are you okay? And she's like, all of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Like, I wish, again, that we would have had some sort of context as to what all of it is,
Well, she dished it out not off stage.
Yeah, when she was done, but still, Michael.
We'll get that. Later. Yeah.
So, what were the other packets that they ran?
The Sutton Augusta packet.
Oh yeah.
Which was, I like Sutton and Augusta, and I like Sutton and Spain.
So just not Beverly Hills.
Not when Sutton comes to California, I'm like, nope. I liked Sutton in that commercial we saw.
I don't know.
For fiber.
I know, it made me wonder why she isn't doing like Tivia commercials and just like talking about like pooping.
Watch out, Jamie Lee.
Here comes my poop. And I think also with that Benefiber commercial, they only need to say name them once, because then she starts naming all the different benefits of them. So just be like, name them again. What? She's already naming them.
That woman was quite funny. Yeah. Like, shut up. Let me do it.
And then Ugly Leather Pants was just forced in there. Like, I don't think we needed it.
And that's Crystal's thing. Let her have her Ugly Leather Pants in her little podcast on her off. Let me tell you, I didn't listen to it, but like I think I saw a clip or I read comments. Like Crystal and Cynthia were on Carlos King's podcast. Mm-hmm. And apparently, she was saying like, basically like, I wasn't going to go there or act like a fool because, my husband's job is more important than this. Then why are you on the freaking show? Even like listening to her like talk about like getting the show and how she didn't think she would get the show. Why were you on the show? I know why you're on the show, because you wanted the fame of it all. Mm-hmm. Like, because you wouldn't have done it for 3 seasons or 1 season if you didn't want that in some little, like, it wasn't like you were bored. You have a business, you keep talking about it. You have 2 small children. Like, I don't understand like why people like applaud her and think she's like so great when really she's just has this oversized sense of self that's really annoying. And it's beyond like humble brag, which is a dumb name for a podcast.
That's a good name for a podcast. It's much better than reasonably shady.
Well, I mean, come on, what isn't?
I mean, it's 10 times better than husbands watching Housewives.
Nothing's better than that. It's freaking alliteration. Anyways, that's I'm done with my Crystal rant.
Crystal rant.
Irks me.
I think the thing that they applaud Crystal is that she's now being vocal.
Off the show.
Yeah, but she's at least now we're seeing people who wanted to see more, like her activate more, they're seeing it now. And like that they're getting their satisfaction out of her.
But where is this energy that would have kept you on the show? She only got there with Anna Marie that last season when she called her a bitch and like went off. Like I feel like was holding so much back. It's like because you want to be like a classy lady and not embarrass your husband, Mr. Lion King. I don't get her. Yeah. She can stay where she at.
Okay, well, moving on, because we're not talking about it. We're talking about Garcelle.
I know, we're not talking about people who are on the show. Yes, Garcelle was done
with all of it. And again, I want more context. And I know that Garcelle's issued a statement and like her everything and talking about it. And there's been some clarifications on Andy's behalf and on her behalf. I haven't read a single damn one of them because you know what? They're really long. I'm just like, even her like resignation letter. I'm like, how many goddamn paragraphs does this need to be? Like,
well, also I didn't watch the video. Yeah, I read the letter. I don't understand. When they had Watch What Happens Live with that infamous Bose and Erika situation, when Andy was like, I was really surprised. And like, I now understand why Erika and Bose were like, what were you surprised about? Yeah. She said, I am done several times and walked off the stage.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Like, that screams to me, I'm not, it wasn't like, had it been, she walked off in the middle of the reunion, but then come back, that's one thing. But she was like walked off like, I am not taking the cast photo. I don't want to be a part of this. Screw all of y'all. And like, that says I'm done. That says I'm quitting.
So the thing that's surprising about it is that she sat through the whole damn thing just to go ahead and be like, no, I'm leaving, and like taking my dolly and going home. She like the minute she was like legally okay to do so, she left.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like the reunion's done. Okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like she.
We'll get that.
She could. No, we're there. I don't
we're here.
We need to leave there and come back. You already drove us there, so let's.
I didn't drive us there.
You did. You brought us there.
You drive more often than that.
The whole thing is that like, it just seemed very childish. I mean, I get that she was going through something. I get that she had opinions about everyone, the way everyone treated her. That's fine, legitimate. But you couldn't have 10 more seconds. Like, it would have like boiled your skin off to like have to take a photo with these.
It was weird. It was almost like something inside her said like, I have to get out now. Like something was like, I put down the drink, walk away. I mean, I guess, does it take that long to take a cat's photo? I know there was like a lot of flashbulbs going off and they like, smile, but like maybe she just didn't want to seem like disingenuous. Like, I'm happy to be here with this cast when she doesn't feel a part of the cast, that they like her, you know.
I thought that was very interesting as well, that like she made what she was saying to her very bewildered makeup staff.
Oh my God, that one dude was like, okay, girl, I get it. Like, I'm packing as fast as I can.
For her to be like, none of them even like me. Like, she seemed really concerned. I mean, everyone's concerned that they're liked in some sense or another. But for Garcelle to be as, you know, kind of, I'm done with this as she was, and like to really be over everyone there, she put a lot of energy into emphasis on being liked by them. It's
a dichotomy, if I'm using that.
I think you're using that right.
I don't know. It's really, I think I was thinking about what led up to the toast, and I was going around like about what you're most surprised by. She devoted hers to Sutton, and then Sutton devoted hers to Erika. And they panned to Garcelle, and she had like this look in her eye like, oh, really? And I think it was just like, you know, this is about my one friend. We've been in this together since 2020. Like, it was us against Fox Force 5. It's us about, you know, with Crystal, and then she was gone. Now it's just the two of us. Like, I've got her back. I was like, you know, so supportive of her with her mother. And then she makes her whole thing like, I would like things to continue on and be good with Erika. That's what Sutton was saying. Like, she wants to like be good with Erika.
Especially after Garcelle and Sutton both had just been like, we don't really believe, you know, they were her harshest critic through the whole legal stuff.
And then also, you know, Erika saying like, I think you're not that interesting to all of them. Like, I feel like Garcelle was thinking to herself, the one person who is supposed to have my back is so concerned with being friends with the people who are out to get us.
Yeah.
And that really hurt her. That, you know, Sutton was like, I want to be good with Erika. She was like, you know, really could have gone harder at Dorit, but didn't. And then was just, of course, like, nothing bad to say about Kyle, even after Kyle called them mean girls. Like, she wasn't fighting back.
Yeah.
Sutton wants to get along to go along and be a part of the group with the popular girls, Fox Force 3, and Bose now. And Garcelle was like, well, screw it. Then what am I doing here? Because then I'm going to be on the island.
Yeah.
And I really think that was the last straw.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It does. Well, I mean, it was hard to watch because as much as, you know, it was fun watching them stand around right after Garcelle walked off.
Oh, Kiki.
Yeah, theorizing as to what it was. And like for Kyle, like hearing Kyle say like, I mean, and that was nothing. Like she didn't even do anything this season. This was like child's play compared to, you know, that was fun to hear. But at the same time,
it's kind of catty.
Really catty. And I feel bad for Garcelle in that like, she was going through something, and like, yeah, even though she didn't really have a lot to offer, she kept trying to like.
Well, and they proved her point because no one understood her, or like he was even trying to. They're like, "What are you doing? It's the cast photo."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Kyle was like, I don't get that. Sutton, her best friend on the show, was like, I don't really understand. Erika was like, you know, we've all been there, and Dorit called her unprofessional. So why would she stay?
And then Bose was like, oh no, Garcelle, come on.
Yeah, like Bose is trying to like dissect it, like this is something personally going on. Like I don't understand. Like
I definitely think you're right in your breakdown of the fact that Sutton made her kind of like closing sentiments about Erika
of all people.
Yeah, which is strange. I mean, that also just goes to show, I think, that it was the most recent kind of conversation. So Sutton just picked the first thing that came to mind out of thin air. It was the kind of back and forth she had with Erika.
And I'm sure Sutton has like thanked Garcelle profusely for like being there for her in Augusta, but she should have taken another moment after the reunion, unless they cut it out, to be like, I'm really glad that Garcelle had that conversation with my mom and was there for me, and both she and Kyle were so supportive, and it was a tough weekend, and talking about my father, and I don't think she really gave that energy, the same energy that she gave to the other women, and trying to be like, I want to be good with you, Dorit, like, I don't know, Sutton in this group is a social climber.
Yeah.
She wants desperately to fit in, and doesn't realize how good she had it with like the one person who was there for her all these years.
Yeah. Now, I will say I'm not enjoying, and nor do I necessarily agree with all of the fan sentiments that apparently whatever Garcelle did was done out of like,
protect your peace and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. I feel bad for Garcelle, that she was so upset, like, and really you could tell like her face like said it all.
Yeah.
But like this whole like narrative people are trying to spin, no.
She sat there the whole time and then just walked off at the last minute. Like, again, like her contract was, she got basically the box was checked. She's like, I'm going to be paid. Peace out. I don't take that photo. The photo's optional. I'm not doing it. And it's like she was just
after saying let's get a photo. I love how Andy pointed that out. Yeah. I don't know. That's what worked for her, but it seems dumb not just be like, smile. Okay, I don't want to see you guys ever again. Bye.
Or at least do the photo and then just give them all the bird or something, and
right.
Like turn around while everybody's snapping.
Or like just like toss your nasty watermelon drink on.
Yeah. No one seemed to like the watermelon drink.
No.
And he was like, ugh.
No.
Yeah. It's a shame.
And then again, like I said, she had so much to say in her dressing room. I guess the fight was gone out of her.
Yeah. And
she was just like, I want to vent to my glam team and then peace out.
The thing I don't like about it though as well is that it's going to just perpetuate, and it's too late. People are already doing it.
It's perpetuated, yeah.
It's perpetuating this whole Fox Force 5, existence, and that they're mean girls, and yes, whoever's out there who hates that we apologize for Kyle all the time, but we're gonna sleep really good tonight. No, I just like I granted, viewer who has that opinion, I don't disagree.
No, it's a valid opinion.
It's a valid opinion.
We haven't gotten to the Kyle segment.
No, we haven't. But just this whole idea that like, I don't know. I don't think that they're all in cahoots with each other.
No.
I think that they might naturally kind of have similar styles of doing the show, that they just happen to line up on a lot of things. But I don't think they're in cahoots to like go out and like get Sutton or get Garcelle or, alienate people. I think that there's just things that they expect out of their fellow housewives that they're not getting from them, and that they all three react similarly.
Right. You get into a groove.
Yeah.
I think that's why Kyle was so riled this season, because like Dorit was out of the group.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing? This is not what we do.
Right.
But it made for good TV. We're talking about it. But yeah, I don't think, again, it's not an alliance.
It's not like I don't think it's an active alliance. And maybe I'm naive. I could very well be naive. I just think it's a passive alliance where, again, they kind of, things operate a certain way, and when the people who don't operate that way, that just throws them for a loop. And like, I think they all three register like the same sort of not alarm bells, but like, hey, this is different, and like their hairs all stand up the same way, and they just react the same way because they've been working together and doing this together for so long. I don't think that it's this actual concentrated effort to like get them, but I could be very naive.
Well, like you said, they probably spoke before the reunion. I don't necessarily know if they did. I don't think, for sure Kyle and Dorit didn't, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's this conspiracy. There's no Fox Force 5 conspiracy. Right.
And it was great that they mentioned Teddy.
So nice. I'm really glad they mentioned her. And
I like that they did go around and see like, who's going, I thought that for a minute was going to be what set Garcelle off.
I think Andy was like, I'm not going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not. It's not going to be good. So, like, there's no reason to. Like, obviously turning to Dorit, she's was one of your closest friends.
Right.
So it would make sense. Kyle wanted to say something so bad.
Well, she was prepared to. So for those of you who aren't following Teddy's recovery with her cancer and her journey, she publicly called out the fact that Dorit had never contacted her through all of this, and that Garcelle still hasn't.
Yes.
Like, other people at least reached out and like sent flowers, did something, and she very publicly was like, hadn't heard from Dorit, haven't heard from Garcelle.
Yes.
So she's since heard from Dorit, but at the time of the reunion, she had not.
Correct.
And so that's why when Dorit gave her little walk around of like, oh, well, she's going through a lot, and I figured it's best to reach out to her, later.
Which is somewhat valid.
I think very valid.
Yeah.
That's why Kyle kind of chest puffed up, like, oh. She was ready to be like, had Dorit said, oh yeah, no, we spoke. She'd be like, no. But
that's not what Teddy told me.
Yeah. I thought that someone was going to bring that up to Garcelle, and then, I thought that would be enough to set me off if I was Garcelle.
Oh, yeah.
And someone done that, be like, look, I'm not going to say bad things about the cancer girl right now, okay?
The cancer girl.
So.
Well, no, and Annie knows that they're not close, obviously, so he wasn't going to go there because it would have been very awkward, and it would have been, and I love Teddy, as it would be in a sense of calling her out, like, what, you haven't spoken to, cancer girl? Like, and then you're shaming somebody for not, I didn't agree with what Teddy did with that. Like, there's no reason for Garcelle to reach out to you.
Agreed.
It would be disingenuous. She doesn't wish you poorly,
right?
But she's not gonna be like, "Hey, girl, I'm sorry you have cancer."
It's a New Jersey topic, not cancer or sickness. But wasn't there a whole thing about someone not reaching out, and it was like, well, why? I'm not wishing you poorly. I'm just.
It was some. I don't know if it was Jersey, but it was somebody.
It was something recently where it's like, look, I didn't. Oh, what's Orange County when Tamara came back? It was about the dog dying. It was something like that.
Oh, her dog dying?
It was something like, look, I didn't reach out to you. Like, I also wasn't hating it. We'll figure it out.
There was somebody where it was like, yeah, because I remember I was saying, like, I don't wish you poorly, but I'm not going to, like, we're not close. I'm not going to reach out to you.
Right.
So that's what occurred here. I fault Garcelle nothing at all for, like, not reaching out to Teddy.
Yeah. But the fact that Vicky reached out.
I mean, come on, right?
And
her worst enemy.
And I'm assuming many other like people she's not heavily friendly with. Like, I bet you
probably not LV.
Teresa probably reached out. And Teresa, the person, does not like her.
Yeah. Well, it's like a big sorority. Yeah. Really toxic sorority. So I think they
aren't most sororities a little bit.
Well, not all, but it's still good enough for her, I'm sure.
More the frats that are toxic.
No, the sororities too.
So I think that does leave us. Oh, there was a Jennifer Tilly segment, a little bit of one, wasn't there, this episode?
No. Yeah. You just like ask her random questions, like, what do you think about your friend Sutton?
Oh, yeah.
Or did you learn more about Sutton?
It did seem a little bit much like
trying to justify why she was out there still.
Well, Kathy too, but and that's when you're like, oh, Kathy's out here for the Kyle stuff.
Yes.
But no, the Jennifer Tilly stuff, it was like he kept going to her for like, you've known her a long time. How did you feel about this? Almost as though he was hoping she would like spill some tea about like, I've seen her doing blah, blah, but she was very poised, I think, and
she's very diplomatic.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think Sutton buys people. Like, she would like jump in and be like, I think, Sutton, like, she would not apologize for Sutton, but basically like
next best thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think her kind of disclaimer delineator was like, I've never seen her like be mean in the way that they're saying, but in this group, I know that Sutton's said some things that,
Oh, and the whole, like, the Bose thing about, like, saying that Sutton called her an angry black woman.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
That was interesting, too, because Bose was even saying to Garcelle, like, you didn't, it got past you, you didn't even...
And Garcelle's like, I didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
I've seen that. She heard it. She just chose not to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Which side note, Bose was like didn't really have much to do this episode.
She was out there to I think she reinforced some of her previous opinions and kind of like took backed up Dorit and that whole comment about
I think that the fact that Garcelle made note during her glam rants that like they piled on her about the break-in comments and then they flashed to that Bose thing. I think she was really pissed off that Bose came so hard.
Yeah.
Didn't yell. She doesn't yell Sutton.
But absolutely, though, Bose was right. I mean,
She was right.
Garcelle was suggesting something criminal.
Yes.
And that's
To throw that out there, I don't care. I know it's more than 4 people on Twitter. I know it's a huge opinion that this is all faked. But to throw it out there and not have any facts to support your argument does make it seem like you're just like a hater behind a keyboard typing this and accept you're in her face on a couch. So yeah, she's going to bite back at you because there are many things Dorit is wrong about, but this moment, she's not wrong. Unless you can prove that she or PK faked this, you're just being snarky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Receipts, people. The Erika segment.
Yes, I thought that was rather forced. I don't. Again, Erika didn't really do a whole lot this season.
Yeah.
But she was there, and I think
the whole not liked, but it was interesting the comment of, "I'll visit him when he dies." But it makes sense. He's not the man she knew isn't there anymore.
Yeah, I do feel like though, like when she was asked, how do you feel now that he's guilty? That he's been found guilty? She wouldn't say anything. She still
implicate her.
And I was thinking that, I think that she should have said something and I don't know, it just seemed like a really, she couldn't say anything because if she says something, it can be used against her, in cases that are not yet been taken against her.
And there have been other lawsuits that come out. So I think she's like, it's not worth it. I'm not applauding. I'm not supporting the man, but I'm also not going to just say, yep, that proves it. He is guilty of sin. It's just,
yeah,
it does nothing for
and
her.
were they, what was it that, he asked Bose, it was about her body count.
Oh.
He's like, why would you ask that? Well, sometimes I get answered.
Exactly.
But I think that's the same thing. If he doesn't ask, Erika, what did she think? Maybe she would have given, I think he's guilty of sin. Or I knew all along.
Right.
Whatever it was. And he would have I'm glad I asked.
I thought I was going to segue into are you basically doing a big told you so to the women that who have said that you were, threw stones at you and that could then bounce back to Sutton and Garcelle since they were the main ones with the
pitchforks.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think that brings us to Kyle.
Yes.
So first it was Kyle and Mo, and then it was Kyle being a Mo. That was the order it went in, right?
Being a Mo.
So Kyle and Mauricio, unfortunately our Comcast, thanks a lot, was acting up.
I want a credit.
All $1.50 of it. But a lot of that was chopped up, but it's not what we could make out. It was interesting.
It's interesting how she was saying how she was so sad about it. And he was like, you're so angry last year. Now you seem so sad this year. And it's true.
Yeah.
She seemed very sad the entire season about the divorce. And even watching that clip package, not even divorce, about separation. And because there's no divorce yet. And then watching the clip package was really upset. And yeah.
Well, it was interesting that Andy even pointed out, why are you being so cagey about something you brought up last season? They went back and showed that, the idea that he did something to break her trust.
Right. Which I think, I remember talking about this on the podcast and me thinking that maybe it had to do with her friend dying and he wasn't really there for her in the way she needed him.
It sounds like it's something different, though.
Of course, that's what you would think.
It does
breaking
seem
trust.
now, though, that it was something different, especially because she's not really wanting to address it. And she's pretty much come out and said, I don't want to say anything negative about my children's father.
And Dorit's hold my beer.
Yeah. But Dorit's whatever, he's an alcoholic. Rah!
He's a bad father, too.
Yeah. But no, I think it has to be that. And her kind of reference to, I wish we had talked about the things that led us here more instead of just kind of shrugging them off. But she didn't say those weren't her words, but it made it seem like they kind of just shrugged things off as well, okay.
We'll get through it.
Yeah.
I think it's also that, they weren't communicating and it was well, we've been together for so long, that's not going to change. So let's sweep something under the rug. And then you the rug gets too lumpy, and it's like.
I don't understand. Please follow this metaphor through some more. I need
the rug's
some
too
more.
lumpy, and you like can't ignore the things under the rug.
Okay, you can still sweep more under there though.
But it's a lumpy rug, and you're like, damn! Let me peel back this rug. Oh shit! There's all of our.
If you keep sweeping though, you can level it out, and then it's no longer lumpy.
It's too much stuff. Too much stuff to sweep under.
Just need a new rug.
I'll tell you a story about that later.
Okay.
A work story.
Okay. I'll have to remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, it does seem that they even asked Kyle if she was going to, start dating or anything. And like, that was interesting that like she said, talk about buying a new house and moving on basically.
I love how Kathy's like, why would you mention it that it's across the street from Lisa Vanderpump? Like, don't bring her up, because every time Kyle brings up LVP, people just accuse her of like using LVP for clout, basically.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering, was Kathy saying that was the case?
Basically, not that Kathy knows what clout is, but that's what she was pretty much insinuating. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think Kathy's smarter than we give her credit for, but
maybe she gets help from Nikki in Paris, but yeah. I'm sure.
So then the second part was Kyle and Morgan, basically, or her sexuality, not even Morgan.
Sexuality. It was so. I guess she's still figuring it out, so she can't really say it in a succinct way. Mm-hmm. And she did sound like Kathy, like, the thing, and I might be a lesbian. You never know. Right. Thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know where Kyle goes. I hope, she finds, I don't know. Like, part of me does want her and Mauricio to get back together, but then I think he's so on the other end of that. I don't think he's ever going to come back, even after now that he's sown these oats. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know if I can see her with anybody else, let alone a woman.
I think also, I think for her sake, I don't think, she's let that horse out of the barn, so to speak. And
Mauricio?
No, I'm just saying, like, the whole idea of, she's exploring who she is. I just don't know how you'd, like, open the door to, a more honest relationship with yourself, sexually speaking, and being like, no, I'm gonna put that back. I mean, unless her true, her sexuality is bisexual, and that's how she
could be. And she could be.
I guess the more we talk about it, the grosser I feel. Like, she should just be who she is.
I think, and like, it will. When she gets there, she gets there. Yes. There's no time to. There's no like, next season, I want to see you lesbian.
I mean, I
like you, Nene.
Yeah.
Watch me, lesbian.
I do think, though, it was something she said this episode that made me kind of feel like it's a little BS that she isn't sharing more. I can't remember what it was.
It was the like, not everything needs to be, when it was about Mauricio and infidelity.
Yes.
That's where. Yes.
It's like, but that's what's happening to you on the show.
And I get it. Like, it's so this weird line of like, you are on a show, everything should be put out there, but then also not everything is for the show.
Right.
You're still a person at the end of the day.
So I think I think what it was is Kyle had used that 3 different times during this reunion and on 3 different subjects. And I think in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, we're all allowed a bit of privacy. We're all allowed to pick and choose the things that we do and do not talk about. For instance, like, Erika doesn't talk about her son.
Right.
That's fine. Okay.
This is the most she's talked about her son in the entire time she's been on the show.
And the only reason the time he flipped his car and rolled down hillside, Pasadena. But the only reason they brought it up is that he was in a public forum, and now he was fair game to a point.
Right.
But again, everyone has their right, and I think, to pick 1 or 2 things, but it does seem to me that Kyle is doing it with everything. And at the same time that, like, if Kyle's going to say at the end of the episode that Garcelle never really had a storyline, then yes, Kyle has shared a lot over the years, but Kyle has shared a lot of similar storylines like Garcelle has over the last couple. So I'm totally team Kyle in that, like, Kyle shared way more and has been doing it way longer and has gotten way more personal on things. But it does seem that Kyle's pulling the I don't want to talk about it card on every subject.
Picking and choosing what she wants to, because she's been on this show for so long, and after a while I think you're like, nope.
Because honestly, like the same thing that like Sutton did with her mom, like that could be like Kyle has shared those similar things in the past with her family.
Like Kathy.
And and so like at the end of the day, it's not the same thing as a marriage or a divorce or, you know, sexual awakening, things like that. So I don't know. It's a bit hypocritical.
Yes.
And I hate saying that. I'm sorry. You won't divorce me for going against Kyle.
No, I totally get it. I you know, I'm not going to jump on it like others do. He who should now not be named. But I totally understand what you're saying. And you're allowed maybe one, not like several. Like, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. Like, because then it's, you know, then why are you on the show?
I think where it does end up happening is it's a buildup of multiple different years of I'm not going to talk about that, all converging. And it's like, okay, well, you got to pick one to talk about.
Right.
And I think we'll probably see that next season. I have to think that we're going to see some more juiciness next season. Well, perceived juiciness.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, she needs to have a story. So... I think, I mean, but it's so, I will say.
But is it going to be about, like, this is Kyle navigating single life. She moved to Aspen. She goes to Kemosabe every night.
I think next year will be like her repairing her relationship with Dorit, you know, trying to find some happiness. I don't think she's going to date on the show, but I think they got to get closer to some sort of like, the finality with their marriage to like stay in this limbo of like she's so, and I love her for it because she's like, you know, we talk every day and it's like, okay, but like there's still so much angst and sadness. Like, are you happy with this situation even though you talk every day? And is it like you just really can't let go because it's been 30 some odd years of your life and you can't imagine it without this man? So you just need to like have him in a different capacity because it's never going to go back to what it was,
right?
You know.
And it sounds to me like she's dealing with that, and I think that's where she's going to end up by the time they pick up cameras next. I think she'll be further along in that belief that like, look, this is not going to happen. My life is different now, and I have to lean into it and not, you know, hope that it remains the same.
Right.
But I mean, I do get, knowing what we know about her, that she's not really one to be in the spot. Like, she really, like, as much as she's in the spotlight, she would much rather be at home being a homebody.
I love that about her too.
And so like, I think when she talks about, you know, waiting for Portia, is that her daughter?
Yeah.
For Portia to graduate school, she's like, she did say that I'll move somewhere else. And that's where I think she will just end up moving to Aspen and like never coming back. So
I mean, maybe like when Portia goes to college, she's like, well, I'm done with the show.
Yeah, it could be.
You know, and we move to Aspen, have a quieter life, sit by the fire with my significant other.
Oh, there would be Real Housewives of Aspen if she goes up there.
Yeah. I mean, I need Kyle for like at least another 2 seasons. I just need it.
Is Kyle your security blanket?
It would really, like, people talk about like, oh, Atlanta survived without Nene, and like, you know, Bethany, New York without Bethany, and I'm like, yeah, but Kyle's Kyle. This is, you know, a huge part of. I know it's an ensemble. It's not just Kyle's show, but like, we spend so much time talking about her, not just us, but like even the haters.
Yeah.
Like she lives rent free in their mind. So it's like, what are you going to talk about if Kyle leaves the show? You know, and who could anchor the show?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And don't even say LVP coming back. That makes no sense. You have to get rid of like half the I wish people would love. Then what do you like? Oh, I can't even. Oh, side note, did you see that Debbie Matenopoulos was talking about coming? Here's the thing.
I did not.
It's 2 things. You know who she is.
No.
First season of The View. The young blonde one that on SNL they would parody that she was dumb.
A young blonde? Dumb? Yeah. Okay. I'll look her up later. But
Debbie, okay. So she has said she's been approached to be on the show. She was on Page Six's podcast. Here's the thing. I believe that's true. You never talk about being approached to being on the show because then you will not be on the show.
Oh.
So she has screwed herself. But 2, I don't really need Debbie Matenopoulos on this show. Like, they called her a journalist. I guess she is. But no shade. I didn't know that. I haven't heard about her since she left The View. And that was like 1999. So I'm like, sure.
To me, it sounds like a perfect intro to Beverly Hills housewifeness. So,
but she's like, oh, I know those girls. I know Kyle and Dorit and Erika. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's a good season, despite...
It went by so fast.
We say that every time.
Like a blink of an eye.
Despite it being one of those seasons that it was just beating a dead horse on Texas Gate, and then
Dorit and PK, Kyle and Mauricio.
Kind of same note over and over and over again. And despite that, it was a good season.
I thought it was a good season too. There were ups and downs. I liked people sometimes. I didn't like them, but it was fully formed. We got something new. We got a new version, a somewhat new version of Dorit, and shake up with the Fox Force 3, and we got a breath of fresh air with Bose, and then the exit of Garcelle. So a good number of things happened. It wasn't just a one-issue season.
Yeah, you're right. I take it all back. It wasn't a one-issue season.
It wasn't.
Suddenly tiredness hit me.
I know we talk my throat's dry. Like, there's no more water.
No, there's water. I didn't drink all your water.
I did
not drink all your water. Don't give me that. I had like 2 sips.
I wasn't being shady. I was just saying there's less water.
Well, now you're being shady.
But I drank it too.
Okay, so you're contributing to the less water. It's not just me. Okay, good. I don't know that there's really anything else. I'm going to miss doing a Beverly Hills podcast.
I am too.
We're going to be down to just Atlanta, and then we're going to maybe do Love Hotel.
No, we're doing Love Hotel.
Let's see how we feel. If we watch it and we're staring at each other going,
I think it's going to be very interesting and a new way to see these women. And I would it's not Crappy Lake. I think I like the people who are going to be on it to a certain extent.
Which extent is that? Is
I don't
it
know.
Reasonably shady of you?
I'm actually better with Garcelle. I was talking more so about Shannon.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think it will make for good TV, and I want to see this, and I think we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Because I don't think we're going to talk about Miami, so
yeah, I don't think so either.
We should watch one episode of Miami and see if we
Yeah, I mean, if any of you who are listening want to go ahead and drop in the comments reasons why we should watch Miami,
yes,
we'll entertain the idea. We won't necessarily follow your advice,
right?
But we've tried. Jeff watched the original Miami before it relaunched. I tried watching the relaunch, and I just really didn't care.
We watched half of that first episode of the relaunch.
I thought we watched 2 episodes.
No.
I think I watched another part of it in a hotel room or something somewhere else. But yeah,
it just I don't know. And now I feel so out of the loop and far removed from it. I can't imagine
Well, look, I mean, just because it's been so long since you've emailed your friend, it doesn't mean you can't just go ahead and say.
But it's not like with OC where I had watched before for a good amount of seasons, and then I had a reason to come back to it because of Tamara. I don't really have. There's no nothing's prompting me to go to check out this Miami. I think their little peacock is cute. Not peacock. Flamingo. I think that's cute.
That is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little neon flamingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please let us know if why we should watch Miami, and we'll consider it, or maybe we'll just tell you no. But
to close out, what would you say was the most unexpected thing about the season of Beverly Hills for you?
Unexpected thing really was that Erika had her house remodeled. It was so unexpected that they could actually turn that into any sort of airtime. That was her entire storyline this season.
It was.
And I love Erika. I love Erika to pieces.
Because they made it a metaphor.
It's too much. I don't like the hate that Erika gets.
No.
That's the other thing is while she was giving her kind of breakdown about Tom's guilt or whatnot, I was just people are so they believe it or they don't.
Right.
And there's just no changing their minds on it. It's like such an unfortunate thing for people to be so polarized about.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, in all seriousness, I think Garcelle leaving was the biggest surprise.
That was a surprise for me too. Yeah.
And really, and I think what you breaking down for me in this very episode about how Sutton made her closing remark about Erika probably was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes. The look on Garcelle's face was just like, okay.
Yeah.
That whole, this ending with Garcelle was probably the most surprising thing for me.
Yeah.
And
the most unsurprising thing for me, I will tell you, is that Dorit didn't get anywhere with any of her problems or situations. She's still unresolved with every single person she was having beef with on the show.
Totally. And she's like, I think she designed it that way so she could come back with some story.
As a viewer and a fan, I am not satisfied by it. I'd like her to have taken some ownership. Like even that BS at the end of last episode with like, oh, here comes the Sutton we all know. That didn't even go anywhere. Like it went there, but she never made her point.
No.
Never.
She made her point from 2020.
I thought it was hilarious when Andy was... how's it feel to have a spokesperson who can succinctly say the things?
That was so good.
I was like, yes, I would have liked that in this context, but we did not get it.
Dorit just goes off into the weeds.
Yes.
Like.
So most surprising thing?
Garcelle and also Bose. I didn't expect to be so, because I didn't know her, and to be so engaged by her, and that she would become this phenomenon.
And you're all, after the last edition they tried to give us failed so miserably. You're like, I wasn't too keen on this one.
I mean, thankfully we did a 180 from.
Yeah, no, Bose was really refreshing.
Very much so. Very much so. Good energy.
Yeah.
Even if I disagreed with her on certain things, Kyle. I need a Kyle apologist shirt.
Oh,
Bravo
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make that.
I also here's a not a knock to Kyle, but Kyle's really anxious when she keeps touching her weave. She kept flipping up the hands I don't know. And the crystal.
Dropping her crystal. Yeah. I was wondering if she dropped it once and they just kept editing it in to make it seem like she kept dropping it, but
I just love Erika. Girl.
Yeah.
Everybody answered really sweaty. But,
probably.
Yeah.
I assume that they were. All right. Well, I'm gonna miss Beverly Hills. That's what
me too.
is gonna be here, and then hopefully we'll get some more soon.
Yeah.
So at this rate, we just Atlanta or Love Hotel, maybe Miami. And then after Miami comes on, what's the next one?
I feel like it would be
OC at that point?
OC, because they're the closest. They've been filming the most.
Yeah.
Although, Potomac, they haven't even started. Salt Lake is already at the big cast trip, so they must be. Mm-hmm. But it feels like they just started filming too, so that seems weird.
Well, there's going to be all sorts of stuff, I'm sure, this summer that's going to delay it. So
totally.
Well, anyway.
They got to stagger better. You can't, Bravo can't leave us okay, now there's only one on. It's you need to plan better.
Dude, I need a vacation from this. I'm sure they need a vacation from it too. I'm sure whoever works on, the Housewives programming, we just need just a...
Well, that's why you shouldn't have put 4 on at once.
That's true.
That was crazy.
That was crazy, and I do miss making 4 a week. I'm unpleasable. You can't please me.
Yeah.
I'm impossible.
4, 2, 1. You're nope.
No. At 0, I'll be we need to do something.
And that was us, after Jersey.
Yeah.
This last summer. God.
I'll be a whiny baby.
The drought.
Well, I guess at this point we should go, and we're just rambling now.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this next time.
Till next time.